But it made a bunch of noise when I went up on it. and Put
If
the
it clicks, it goes green.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, then it works.
Yeah.
I'll do the best I can.
Oh,
Oh, I know those are probably sitting in the truck too.
Your pen?
No, I got them. Lost, forgot my glasses.
Did they finally give this, or did you have to go online to zoom in?
Got
No.
them in the truck.
Oh,
You guys
zoom
zoom
in.
Yeah, did
No,
they- did
yeah.
they-
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
back out of here.
Yeah, you had to go online.
Yeah, I pulled it up. It was on the same one as this, actually.
Yeah, it comes in really weirdly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did. Okay, get out of there a minute. Go to here a minute.
No other reports.
Yeah, right here, updated. Where is it here? I know it's here. Maps of permits right here. Then it comes up real clear. Maps of permits.
Oh, no? All right.
And I gotta go in here.
Who brought the jerk?
Okay. All right, let's go back the other way. Agenda packet.
Time.
Where's that? It's right here.
Please rise as you will come to order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll.
Benjamin. Here. Veronica. Here. Baylor. Here. Kasdorf.
Here.
Holden. Here. Sardina.
Here. Is there anyone desiring to be heard? None. Consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
I heard Tom and Eric. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
On opposition, say nay. Motion passes. No communications. One communication is bingo is this Saturday at 5 p.m. Committee reports, none. Report to the administrator.
Just a quick update. We do have in-person absentee voting for the February primary going on from now until next Friday during the week. It'll be 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We have had 3 whole votes sent in to us already, so we're on a roll. But we do not expect this election to be a super high turnout. More will come out for April, I'm sure. We are also in the middle of getting ready for Metronet. Some of our road project stuff is coming forward. We're going to be going out for bids soon. And we're still working on a lot of our capital projects. We just got our new fob system set up, and we will be expanding that to the DPW here shortly. So they will not have to rely on hard keys anymore for that. So besides that, end of report.
Thank you. New business item A, discussion and possible action on ordinance 26-01, an ordinance to amend section 3281 and 3282 of the Village of Butler Municipal Code of Ordinances pertain to overnight parking permits and municipal parking lots.
So we worked with this with the police department in conjunction and with the police executive assistant, just looking to clarify a lot of the wording in the ordinance for parking. There was some confusion amongst staff on how to interpret and explain the alternate side parking when it was enforced, when it wasn't enforced. Just clarifying a lot of the language, adding a little bit extra when it comes to some specific items laid out in the ordinance itself. So, if you have any specific questions on the text itself, we can definitely help you out with that, or the police chief can also assist us if you have any questions directly for them.
I don't have any questions. Does anyone have any questions?
Nope.
No.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the ordinance 2601 as written.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in opposition, say nay. Motion passes. Item B, discussion and possible action on ordinance 26-06, an ordinance to amend section 14-137 of the Butler Municipal Code pertaining to automatic fire suppression and alarm system permits.
So this was worked on in conjunction with Corey Sukau with the Brookfield Fire Department. We were just looking at condensing those two lines into one and adding a little bit of additional language in there just to clear things up. We're going to be having quite a few more fire department related ordinances coming before you to get our code up to where it needs to be, dealing with Act 270 and whatnot. So be on the lookout for more of those as they come in.
I do have a question on this.
Yes.
I have two properties on the south end of town. There is one Knox box. It was used by the Village of Butler for both buildings. Is that still going to be able to stay like that, or do I need a second Knox box on the other building?
You have to see the property. Typically, we like them for each property.
Right.
Um,
They're right side by side. The same parking lot. You walk from this building to this, it's less than 50 feet.
I have to take a look at and then
Okay.
just review the ordinance real quick. Because like in some cases, that could be acceptable. In other cases,
Well, that's why I ask. I just didn't want to have you guys looking for a Knox box, and both keys are in that Knox box that are in the other building.
right. Yeah, I mean, we'll be starting our inspection routes this week.
Mhm.
And as we make our way through it, we can certainly follow up on that pretty quickly, though.
All right. Appreciate it.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve action on 2606.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
On opposition, say nay. Motion passes. New business item C, discussion and possible action on 3 right-of-way alteration permit applications by Metronet for the placement of new fiber optic lines.
So we have Mateus and Ben here from Metronet. They will be giving a short presentation on Metronet, what they're about, what they're looking to do in the Village of Butler, and then dealing with the permits themselves. They are, very, very informative. They've been in contact with us for several months regarding this project. The one thing that I will say with regards to these permits is currently the village engineer and their permitting coordinator have been going back and forth. They have a couple questions regarding the location when it comes to our water mains on certain streets and the storm sewer on certain streets. They've been in communication all day today, trying to get the plans adjusted. So when we get to the point of discussion, I can add a little bit more to that, but I just wanted to kind of lead with that there is still some discussions over locations, and on the maps themselves, the exact pinpoints of where they're going to be putting boxes may not be exact. They can maybe move a little bit here and there if needed, but just the illustrations are for general information purposes about where they're going to be located. So at this time, I'll ask Ben and Mateus to come up to the podium, and I will have the presentation already. Do you have the remote?
Mr. President, Village Board.
Good evening.
Thank you for allowing me a few moments to speak tonight. With me is Matthias. Matthias is our project director for the area. So I'm going to run through the presentation portion, and then Matthias will join me up here as we go into kind of more questions and stuff. If you have questions in the meantime, please don't hesitate to stop me and ask. I'll be happy to help.
Just warming up for a sec. Everyone's going to get the lights.
So while this gets loaded up, the one thing I'll say is, again, my name is Ben Ruzick. I'm the Vice President of New Market Development for Metronet. In town, though, and I'll talk about this transition, you're going to see T-Mobile Fiber. So that'll be the name that our residents and businesses will see in town. Metronet, they won't have to worry about the difference of who we are, what we do, and I'll explain a little bit of that right now. So this first slide talks a little bit about Metronet, then ultimately the journey to T-Mobile Fiber. So Metronet was created in 2004 in a small town in Indiana. Greencastle, Indiana was the first town we built. It was built under the rural grant that said, hey, what would happen if you put fiber in a small town that wouldn't get it for a while? And when they were done with that project, the owners of our company now, John and Al Sinelli, were so excited about what happened. They sold both their businesses. They created Metronet. And here we are, fast forward. We're the fastest independently owned 100% fiber to the premise company in the States. With that growth came residents saying, hey, we love what you do. We really would love cell phone options. And so we started into that probably about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. We really got to a point where we said, hey, listen, we can provide a great fiber product. The cell phone thing, that's going to take a whole lot more to get to the level that we would want. And so the process began with our venture capitalist, which is KKR, in that process to find out which of the three majors we would want to partner up with to be able to offer services with cell phones. It ended up with T-Mobile Fiber. T-Mobile has been a wonderful partner to venture into this joint venture with. So now we are owned by KKR and T-Mobile. Metronet will continue to do what it does best, which is install our infrastructure and network, install to the residents and businesses, and maintain that network with a reliability that people are used to. T-Mobile Fiber will then continue to maintain the face of everything else. So our sales, our customer service, they step obviously into a much larger avenue of being able to provide even more support. For us, we have great customer service, but if we had an outage and we were on site and fixing it, we just couldn't afford to keep that many people employed to answer that many calls that came in. With T-Mobile, we're going to be able to help bridge some of that gap and inability to serve when there's issues. And downtime, pretty easy. We've got a team that's available and ready, all based here in the U.S., ready to answer questions for the most part at any time, minus any major issues. So really excited about the partnership. Metronet, we're in 21 different states now. We serve just a little over 3 million total customers. And again, it's been a bit of a journey. As you can imagine it in COVID, and then you can go to the next slide. COVID really opened up everybody's eyes to the lack of infrastructure within our country. And so that was the explosion of fiber. At that point, we were already pretty busy, but we actually began doubling the size of our footprint based off of what happened in COVID. It sped up everybody's desire and want from us and what we were doing. So if you don't know too much about fiber, fiber really plays a big part in functionality in a home that has people that work from home, kids playing from home, movies, video cameras, every other device that connects to our internet now is constantly sucking bandwidth out. Fiber gets rid of that gap. It stops it so that you can be on a video call for work. You can have kids gaming or streaming, and all your cameras can be connected and you're not having disruption issues. Fiber, it's unlimited in what the bandwidth can be. That's part of that future-proof piece it talks about on that slide is we can put this fiber in the ground. We're not going to have to come back and touch it. In our lifetime, this infrastructure will be far greater than anything we'll need. Japan just did a test in 24 on a closed network they created, trying to find out how fast you could put speed through the lines we're using right now. They ran 430 terabytes per second. We're going to have speeds up to 10 gigs, which is really crazy fast for our businesses, but terabytes of speed. They downloaded the entire Netflix library in 1 second. So again, the great thing about what we'll do is it's infrastructure that we're not going to have to go back and we'll put in the ground. The infrastructure we're using is all passive light. And so that in this Brattle Group study, actually, it's the first study that anyone's done on large scale in over multiple years, and it was done by the Brattle Group. You can actually go out and read that if you wanted to know kind of the benefits of what you see with it. But one of those is with passive light, we don't have to tap into the electrical grid. So we're a whole lot greener just in our entire infrastructure. The components aren't going bad where you have to constantly cycle them out, put new ones in. We're going to put glass lines with that PVC piping in the ground, and we won't have to, like I said, won't have to come back and touch any of that. When you look at some of the other neat things in there, they talk about home value increases. They talk about new jobs for people because they can work from home. There's companies that are saying, hey, you can be remote. You're going to have to be on a fiber line. And if you're not on a fiber line, well, then your job's restricted. This frees up some of that. And so that's reflected in that. And then just income adjustments because you've got people who could have a job from DC, but they're here in the village of Butler doing that job, which pays more. So there are a lot more benefits that they talk about within that study. And if you have some time and want to go to bed reading something, that's a good read. So next page gets into the how we do what we do. So the other part's who. This is the how. With us, there's a few things. If we do really well, we're going to have a great experience in town. One of those is communication. And that's what this talks about. We're going to have 3 different pieces of notification that goes out to the residents. The first is that first page on the left, and it's a full page. It says exactly what to expect, the processes that they're going to see. And then it's going to have phone number and a construction website, not our traditional sales site where you'd go and want to learn more about our company and get in service, but more about, hey, construction's coming, we have questions. This is the place that they can go and get those. We're going to have videos on there for them, or do have videos on there for them that'll say, what is an easement? Why do they have access to that? Or a right of way? What's construction look like? What's the process look like? What could we expect? And it gives a little video walkthrough of that. And then again, there's that ask a question where they can ask Matthias and his team any question they want, or any concern they have. Or maybe it's, we were there and 6 months later, the grass didn't grow around where we did the work. At that point, they can tell us, and we'll get out there and get it taken care of immediately.
Just to touch base quick on this mailing you're gonna do. Just looking at it quickly here, it's gonna look like to me that this is just a junk mail, for lack of a better term, right? Because that's what it would look like to me if it came to my house. So I don't know how we can make that better, but I think we might have to do some stuff trying to get out with our website or whatever, but it might be something to look into, because it really just does look like.
And we run into that first mailer that goes out, we get about 10% response from that. So it's not very good. Like you said, we've added some things to the front of the actual envelope. Now says construction notice. So we're trying to bring them to that focus of, hey, this is important to the best of our ability. T-Mobile's got an amazing marketing department, and so everything looks pretty, but too pretty. The postcard's the second piece. It's a little bit better. It's a little shorter, sweeter. It says, hey, while we hope this is brief, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, please reach out to us at this number for, while we're having construction going. The last in the piece that gets the most, it's 70% of all responses, that bottom one. Right now in that picture, it's the little white flag we used to use. It goes right in front of mailboxes. It is now the magenta color from T-Fiber, but it is similar to the postcard. Short, brief, while we hope this to be quick, if you have anything that you need, please let us know. Here's how to get a hold of us. That is going down. People go, okay, hey, hold on. Somebody actually had to come in and didn't just mail this to me. It's not just junk mail. Someone placed this. That's where we start getting everybody to go, okay, construction's coming. So we put these three things out. They help quite a bit. The fourth notification we'll use, if there's good entrance and exits to a neighborhood, we'll put out a A-frame sign or those sandwich boards while construction's happening during the day, and then they'll take them down and take them with them every night. They can help when somebody maybe left and didn't see us actually constructing. Now they're coming home, they see the board. Hopefully it jostles their mind. Oh yeah, we're getting all this stuff. They must be here. It gives them an idea of who they can get out and reach out to.
And then, oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Ben, we also did touch base with their communications team where we have monthly check-ins. So when we told them, when you're sending these notices out, particularly that first notice, let us know. And so then we can communicate like, hey, this is what's coming. This is what you should be looking for in the mail. Please don't toss it. Please review it. Obviously it's not going to be any type of marketing for the service, but since that is going to be in front of everybody's house and whatnot, we are going to try to bring in the attention that the village can bring to this to make sure people understand what's going on.
Right, and the biggest concern is falls on you guys, because the phone calls will start coming to you, right? Right, I didn't know. And I can understand how that can happen, because like I say, it just looks like marketing with the regular stuff, and it'll get.
Yeah, and I brought that up to them as well. But yeah, like Ben said, we can only do so much when it comes to.
No, I get it.
So
The other part, the good side of that is we partner with Ben and Aaron. They have an absolute huge resource to be able to get a hold of for any of those questions, comments, concerns. We want them to turn those residents right over to us so we can support them right away. One thing that Matthias and his team are extremely proud about is their response rates. Not only are we going to be within 24 hours of responding to those residents who reach out, we're going to try to be within a few hours. The goal is if we can surprise them in our response, it kind of takes that edge off, right? That I'm going to have to fight to get something done. If there's something they need to, wow, they actually care. And that's our goal. And we really believe that most of our communities see the passion we have behind it. Good. The next piece, talking about construction, as we go through town, this is a larger town. So there's multiple of those yellow polygons, but that's how we would carve a village or a city into bite-sized pieces so we could do the build and make sense to everybody. As we're permitting, they know exactly where we're at because they've got numbers on them, and we'll notify them. I think here we only have 3.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 LCPs that, what we call LCPs are those areas that we'll have in market. And that's what I believe you guys have in front of you. We work closely with this team. So there are plenty of times where we'll get move requests and things that we need to look at because you and your residents know the community better than we do. And so if there's adjustments that need to happen, they're easy to make, especially early on, like with what we're dealing. Ben High had found a few areas that Ben had mentioned here that we're working through. We'll find a great path and make sure that's avoided. So daily street sheets, this is something really important to us. So as we're constructing, Matthias's team will send out a daily street sheet that says, hey, this is where our crews are. This is the supervisor and their cell phone number to be able to reach out to them if you need anything or have any questions for them. It'll help, especially as calls come in. If somebody says, hey, I'm on, this certain street and there's somebody out here in the truck, we're not sure who it is. They'll be able to look on our sheet, know exactly if it's a Metronet crew or not, or T-Fiber built by Metronet crew. And then the monthly meetings are listed on here. Those are important for us, just as a high level, just to say, hey, okay, we're in the weeds every day doing this, but on a grand scale, how are we doing? What do we need to adjust? Are there any moves or things that we need to do differently to work better here? Field crews. Every one of our field crews are going to be marked. So Matthias actually has a T-Fiber built by Metronet truck outside right now. It looks something similar to that truck that's listed up there. The groups that we use to do our work are contractors typically. The contractors will have a sticker that looks, or a magnet that looks exactly like that T-Fiber sign on that door. They just won't have that pink underbelly at the truck. All of the crews, though, will have some way to be identified with the truck. They'll wear high-vis vests that say T-Fiber built by Metronet, and then that is a picture of Stephanie West and her employee badge. Every one of our associates will have that on them, whether they're a contractor or a Metronet associate. They'll either be in their high-vis vest pouch, or they can wear it on their armband if they want it, if they don't like it in their front chest. So they'll all have those on. If they don't, we would surely expect someone to let us know, and we'll pull that crew from the field until they are properly identified. So supervisory crews, probably a really important piece to us. So Matthias will have a group of supervisors on his team that will go out and do just spot checks all day with those crews. But each one of our crews, the contractors, are required to have a supervisor themselves, which means we'll have 2 supervisors rotating all day throughout the field. The goal is just to make sure everything's going fine. If the crew needs something or has a question, they're going to have somebody on site that can make the decision, or reach out to Ben or Ben High and find out what we need to adjust if maybe utility markings came down different than what we expect.
And then also, Ben, you, I believe, are going to be providing us with a list of the contractors that are out there, and then we'll be providing it to the police department. So in case people have questions or there's issues, they'll be aware.
That is correct. Good. So this is one of our bigger boxes, but I use this picture because it's the day in the life of a box. This is what Matthias expects his crew to do every day, from the start of a box to the end of a box. The goal is to make sure no open pits are left anywhere. The crews are going to work to a point that they believe and know that they can get restoration done for that exact same spot they started in the beginning of the day. So when that hole was dug, so we could locate the utility on the right, you see there next to the blue and orange pipe, and then we can watch that drill head go through, miss the utility, pull the blue and orange pipe back, and then at that point they're going to set the box, which is the center picture. They're going to have a gravel base along with that box placement, and then the right is the full restoration along with the box in the ground. That's what we expect on all of them. Now that's a bigger box. If we go this next slide, this is what most residents will see. Probably 95% of all boxes are going to be this box that a resident would see.
Think on a second from the
They're
right
11
side
by
of my
11,
house.
or 12 by 12.
Sure, that's mine.
They're flush grade. They can have tractors ride over them. They're really, most people don't even notice them. The 2 pictures in the middle, I use those because that's where a lot of them end up, is inside of a flower bed or mulch garden. You can mulch over them. You could put dirt on them. It doesn't matter. They all have locating pucks in them, so we can find them regardless of what happens. So,
okay.
the one on the left is an example of an area where the grass is a little more sparse. That's the reason we'd end up with a seed bed down, because we're not going to just leave it the way it was. We're going to leave it a little better. Now, unfortunately, it does mean sometimes you got little green islands of grass around a whole bunch of dirt, but we always want to make sure we've at least restored the area that's directly around where we've put our utility box. And then last but not least, once we're done with construction, we're not done. We'll have an entire crew and teams that are going to be here permanently. So our field operations will do the installation to residents and businesses. That'll be our largest team in market. Then we'll have a special projects team. That's the team that's going to be here when the village has an update to a road and we need to move some lines. That'll be the crew that'll step in immediately and make sure we get that done and not hold up the project. The last piece I'll talk about, we'll have a business team that's here to support the community, and then we'll have a community engagement team, and that team is here to inject into the great things that the community already does. So if there's parades, sponsorship of events that we can be a part of, holiday events, things like that, we're going to want to participate. We're going to want to sponsor and be a part of that community event. So our goal is really not to just be here and take, to also give back to the community and try to make it better than when we got here. The things that we can add in addition to what you're doing. So that's a little bit about who we are. What questions do you guys have for me?
So looking at the map, are you only doing south of Hampton this way? You're not doing north? Or did I not see this?
There's a different map. I think there's a couple of different maps.
There's multi-maps.
I only saw
For
one.
each- I think it's what each map is.
We
Each
did get an
LP.
email this morning too that had more maps on it. That may be the one.
North and south.
North,
That's
okay.
probably one of the permit we submitted.
Yeah, so there's
I think that was
one,
the
there's
last
one
one.
south of Hampton, there's one north of Hampton to the park, and then there's the third one that's above the park in the Northern Industrial District. Those are the three.
I think that's the one that came today.
I now see it. I didn't scroll.
Hence the three right-of-way alteration permits.
Nice catch though.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So you're basically in competition then with like Time Warner and AT&T is what it comes down to. But you provide a better line than what they currently have out there.
Yes,
Mhm.
it'll be 100% fiber. So your
Mhm.
speeds will be symmetrical. And whatever the speed coming down is going to be the same speed going out. Traditional coax doesn't allow for that just because it's the way it's built. So that's really what we found is our big hang up, right? We can get download speeds to come through pretty good with coax. But to get the speed back out becomes very difficult.
Yep.
Coax also loses speed as it runs, and it runs throughout an entire neighborhood. So it's not the company, it's more the technology, right?
And then is everything, I'm sure this is in the packet, I might have missed it. Is everything underground or are you on the poles as well?
No, all underground. 100%.
All underground? Nice.
Around 65,000 feet. in the entire community.
Everything's directional bore.
Everything is direct.
And then Ben, is there just a few locations where you're gonna have to do anything in the street, or is it just all, is there not gonna be any like cuts into the actual pavement?
Well, that depends, right? Once we start the project and we sign, we need to go to this, we need to go locates. And sometimes we need to cross, put a flower put in the other side, we need to light the utilities in the middle. So right now, we cannot tell you how many foreboards or potholes we'll do, but we'll probably need a few of them for the process.
Yeah, and what he's talking about, instead of actually cutting the road, like square cuts, we'll actually do a circular putt. They'll cut that out, they'll hydrovac down, watch, see. Once they're done, they'll use a flowable fill in there, pack it, put the puck back, and seal with epoxy. So, but yeah, we'll have a few just depending on where the utilities are located. But if we can go 5 feet farther down the road, right, we'll absolutely do that to avoid, right, if there's no utility there. So hopefully it'll be very minimal.
And again, the plans are flexible. We were talking before at the beginning of the meeting. Where the box says in the map is where we plan to go, but when you go to reality, it can be completely.
Mhm.
We could move 50 feet, 10 feet, depending on the homeowner. That's something very good for my team right now. We're working more Pleasant and Racine. And every time we have a complaint this case, and you guys please come because we don't want you to go around. We go the same day, go with the homeowner, we check the plan, and basically we say, where do you want us in your property or in the right way? Right there. Then we go right there. and everybody's happy.
So how do you connect from then? Okay, so you'll be in the right of way. How do you then connect to a house? Do you dig in the right of way or just bore it? Or how do you do that?
Yeah, so once a resident reaches out to us, the area is lit, ready to go, and they say we want service. The technician will come out, find where the closest, what we call a flower pot, which is that vault. They'll find where that is, and then that line's gonna come out of that box up to the home. They will use what's called a hand wamper, which is a heavy pendulum spade, that they just slice the ground. They'll open the ground up and they'll make that trench the whole way and then hand lay that fiber line in the ground.
How deep is that?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
6 inches.
6 inches?
So does that get marked then if someone's doing remodeling on their additions on their house? Is that marked by
It seemed very deep.
underground.
like under like Digger's Hotline? Would they mark that?
We do use Digger's Hotline for our services, but I don't believe they use individual markings for the drops out to the resident. Now, we can come out and locate.
If a resident would request deeper, can you accommodate that?
Sometimes, yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily help if you're doing construction. So I work construction,
Yeah.
right? So when I go into a property, I call Digger's Hotline. They come and they mark gas, electric, right? Typically, everything else as we're talking is typically overhead and it's cable, right? Easy fix. But if I dig through fiber, that's not an easy fix. So that's my concern.
Yeah.
No, doesn't Digger's Hotline contact you when there's something on a
Well,
property?
that's my question, and they're saying no.
Yeah, the individual service drops, I will double validate that, but I do not believe that they get notified.
So that would technically be kind of like a private electric. So like from a house to a garage, Digger's Hotline doesn't mark that, right? So, I mean, that's gonna be something that's gotta be brought to the public too, right?
Yeah, we have that in pretty much every market. For us, we expect some of our lines will get hit. You know, as the ground adjusts and shifts, sometimes it pushes a line higher than the 6 inches. And so you go an air rate, you puncture our line. We come out same day, we'll get it fixed. It doesn't cost anything to our residents. We understand that things like that will happen. People dig gardens all the time and hit our lines, probably the most common. Every now and then we'll have somebody put a fence in, and now you're talking about an auger. Those can be real problems, but our main lines are all marked, which means they're gonna know exactly where those are, which are the main issues on a fence line area. So we don't see much of that. It's normally the individual drop to the home, and like I said, we're typically out there same day. It's the end of the day and they've got a full schedule. It might be the morning.
Yeah, and I understand, you know, that's great. I'm looking at it as a dollar standpoint, as a contractor even. Like I dig through that with a homeowner, gonna look at me and go, right? So that's troublesome that it doesn't get something that is so expensive. And so, I don't know. Not as hardy, if you will, as coax cable, right? Real simple, right?
Bend the line, yep.
To me, it's a issue of dollar amount because homeowner's not gonna pay for it. The contractor does because he hits it, right?
They don't pay for it, not the individual drops. Nope. Yeah, all
Nothing.
that's on us.
So from Maine to the house, that's on you.
All on us.
And
Sounds
Ben,
great to me.
Just right, right,
I didn't understand where you're going, but yeah, no liability.
Right, I hit wire.
All the time.
I'm responsible as a contractor, right? Unless Digger's Hotline marked it, and even then, there's still fights with that, right? So,
It becomes considered unmarked utility, and that's on nobody if we weren't listed as a marked utility. So if we don't ask them to locate our drops, then it's unmarked, right? Which means nobody's held liable.
right, no one's held liable because you're not making someone pay for it. If you said to the homeowner, you got to pay us now, then it becomes my liability as a contractor. Okay.
So then wherever there's an existing post, like in that picture with the internet that's there now, you guys are just going that same post or whatever you call it there?
Box.
Box?
Into the home.
No,
so where
to
there's
get the
all
service into the homes adjoining that area, but that's what it is. Okay.
And then Ben, just piggybacking off of what Trustee Baylor had a question on, are we going to have the stuff sent to Digger's Hotline for the actual stuff in the right of way? Okay, so then, okay.
Everything in the right of way.
Okay.
Straight
Okay, I just wanted to make sure just with the guys doing planting trees or whatever.
It would be a nightmare to have a main
Okay.
line hit. So-
Just wanted to make sure.
That's a big issue, and those we absolutely have, all those will be looked at.
Perfect.
During construction, will we be losing internet at all?
You should
From our
not.
current, okay.
No, you should not.
Okay.
Every now and then, he'll be doing work, and they've got locates on the ground, and the locates are so far off, they're gonna hit it because it's not supposed to.
Okay,
be
but it's not
space.
anticipated.
But it's not
Okay.
marked, that would be the other one. So private lines, every now and then we'll run into that where they're not marked and we'll hit it. His team all are trained and prepared to be able to fix those lines on the spot. AT&T's, the Comcast's, the world, they would prefer us to just fix it instead of have them mobilize and send somebody out. Fiber is a whole lot easier than coax, so when they have to do a coax fix, it's no big deal. It's pretty easy.
Is this service then is it just TV and internet, or what exactly does the service provide?
So it'll be just internet for residents, and then for businesses, it'll be internet and phone.
Okay.
So, and that's, phone's a huge part of the business model. So,
When is this all starting?
That's a good question. We would like to start March 15th. That would be ideal. But again, that's a conversation between us. How and when. If there's two neighborhoods or LCD projects, very small, I was thinking to start with one builder, just test the waters, see how all the process work, and then add one more. So if we start mid-March, that would take just 2 months. So in May, we'll be releasing these structures to sales, so you can start getting your sales.
So end of May completed with
May,
the install?
August, it will be, yeah, we have rain, we start 2 in March, 1 in April. So it will be May, August, May, June, I'm sorry. May, June, will be ready to release.
Okay. Do we have to do?
Okay, got one more question here. I've got, right now, 2 properties that belong to me. They're on, the fire and smoke. Is everything on the, Wi-Fi? Okay. And at some point, I may want to hook up to this. Is there any charge later on to have it hooked up? Because you're not going to be able to run it direct at this point. If I don't say here, hook it up, it's still running Wi-Fi as everything's running at this point. Maybe I want to change my mind and go to the fiber optics later, because they're both businesses, to hook up the phone systems. Will there be a charge later on to hook up?
yeah, so we don't, typically what we'll do is absorb the cost of any additional construction that needs to get from that structure he's placed into the business.
Mhm.
And that's all just rolled into the agreement that you have.
I'm talking possibly a year or 2 down the road.
Nope, it's fine.
Okay, that's just
We
curious.
assume it'll take some time for businesses or residents even to adopt to us a new name, new company. Helps having T-Fiber, T-Mobile, that name, weighs a little bit more, which is nice. But especially when it was just Metronet, we expected that to take some time.
All right.
So, if I may, so this is really doing kind of like that initial build out of getting these services out there. Would you want to touch on, let's say from a resident standpoint, they see this project going on, whether it's now, a year from now, what would the process for a resident be? Say, hey, there's this great potential new option for me. How would I get that service?
So on those postcards that we have, we'll have our construction website. That'll have links that they can, basically, if they wanted to separate from construction and go see services, they can do that. That'll take them to the website. That'll be there permanently. So residents will get mailers from T-Fiber that it kind of alerts them to the services. And then at that point, they can call in and find out if this is something that would fit their needs. We'll also have local teams that can go actually into the home if residents want and support them that way to kind of answer questions. What's the setup look like? What's the router look like? That type of stuff.
Do we have a cost residentially for, let's say I wanted to switch, what it would cost me?
So they just did some changing with T-Fiber, so I'm trying to get that right in my head. They can change, but I think I got them. So the speeds will be 500 megabits down, 1 gig down, and 2 gigs down. Download speeds, which are also the same as their upload. And it'll be as low as $55 a month, $65 a month. And they're doing for the 2 gig, they're doing a 10-year program for $70 a month for 10 years, which is unbelievable. So, but for 500 megs, which most average homes can use pretty comfortably, that's $55 out the door total price. Now, I think you have to have their cell phones with that. Otherwise, I think it's $65. So
Okay, so it's a little more costly than
can be.
AT&T or Spectrum.
It's not more expensive than Spectrum.
I was gonna say
Really?
AT&T's
I
old.
pay 35 a month
Just internet.
for it. Yeah, just internet.
I think there's different prices on no matter different services.
There's
so
bundling, there's all kinds of, it's not as simple as that.
It's not an easy
It
answer.
depends on the speeds. What I can tell you is our service is always the best. As far as pricing goes, it is really uncommon for us to be beaten unless it's a really old network that's running 25 megs down, 50 megs down. You can find some programs out there that are pretty good, but normally it happens once we get in market. So the way that your current providers are going to react to us is they're going to lower the prices. And so there's a win on that side because there's going to be plenty who don't switch to us. They're going to be able to take advantage of the lower billing from their current providers. So it's another good thing that we'll bring is good competition to the market.
Yep.
So,
I just wanted to point out one thing to clarify Trustee Holman's question. They're not going to put their line in the pedestal, which is the AT&T Time Warner pedestal. They're putting it in that flat
Okay.
little
Yeah.
box. It's a flush
Well, those are all usually right in the same
area.
little grouping.
Yes. Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure you understood it. Okay.
And, Mr. President, are all three of the right-of-ways or the applications going into one motion? Is that how we want to do it?
Yes, I would think that'd be fine. I will ask if the public has any questions of this project, just in case. Okay.
Just curious on what kind of services and the prices. I am looking to
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, with the 500 down is as low as the 55 that they have listed online right now. So $55 a month. The 1 gigabit down is $65 a month, and the 2 gigs has a 10-year promotion right now that's $70 a month. Again, all of our promotions are contractless, so you can start with us. If you hate us, you can leave us and go switch back to another provider. But we don't believe we should lock you in stuff. We believe we should earn your business every day.
And then the other question that I do have, these underground boxes for the individual residents. Are they coming from the street going to the house, or are they along the back lot line?
No, they are going to be in the right of way. So from the front view.
Okay.
And there will not be thousands. Normally it's one or 2 properties.
Right.
So it will be there.
Yeah, it's right in between. Yeah.
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 It said like 500 feet or something like that? Ish,
Yes, yeah, depending on the.
right, which gives you the 2-for-1, yeah.
So
But I
we'll
like it
just-
flush. I like everything they're doing is flush.
Yeah.
Whether it's the main, openings in there,
So we would just go to T-Mobile and sign up through them or, okay.
Yep. You can go right to T-Mobile has a T-Fiber spot. His shirt says T-Fiber built by Metronet. If somebody went to Metronet, it would pull them up. So
Okay.
everything will drive.
We can
drive
find you.
right back to it. So they can either go to the website or call us, whatever they.
Thank you for the presentation. Are there any other questions from the board?
President Kastorf, I just have one thing. Just bringing it back to the very beginning, what I was talking about. If the board is going to move forward with approving the permits, I would like it to be conditioned on the approval of the village engineers. Basically of the approval of village engineers of the plan, just because we do have some comments from him on the placement with regards to the utilities. So that has not yet been cleared up, but I would like to just have that conditioned on his approval.
Does the administration have any comment or input on this? Other than what you,
No, they've been fantastic to work with. We do have monthly meetings set up with their coordination team. I'm always in favor of more competition. That's kind of how our economy is supposed to work. So I'm very much in favor of it. They've been a pleasure to work with so far. So
thank you for the input. All right, is there a motion as stated with the conditions as mentioned by administration?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it
A motion has been made, with the conditions, correct?
Correct.
with the conditions, yes.
As mentioned. A motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in opposition, say nay. Motion passes. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Item D, discussion and possible action on amending the village fee schedule for the Village of Butler as it pertains to the street opening permits under section 30-154 of the municipal code.
So this is again pertaining mainly to the project that was just approved for the right-of-way alteration permits. So when I talked with the village attorney, the municipal code says that a permit for road cuts / street openings have to be applied for each individual opening. And a street opening permit also includes rights of way, ditches, culverts, all that stuff. It's a little bit of an ambiguous name that we need to clarify in the code, but so basically when they cut into the right of way, they have to get that type of permit from us. And this is what's different from the two permits is the alteration is a permanent alteration. So again, accessing it for a utility or for paving, something like that. This is a temporary opening where each individual spot that they do, it's the fee and the permit is to basically ensure that the area that is cut into is being repaired and we're being made whole from the damage being done to the right of way. So technically the code says that the fee is assessed by the fee schedule. The fee schedule says for a street opening permit, it's $100 per opening. If we did that, even if we reduced it to the number of passes, it would be $92,000. We obviously that would be
Great.
that'd be very very.
Yeah.
It would be great for the village, but they would probably not want to pass their lines through us if that was the case. So we had back and forth discussions. We talked about their budget for permitting. We have agreed. They said, if it was between $8,000 and $10,000, it would be acceptable to them. I kind of narrowed it down. If we just took the average of like around $9,000, I think that would be appropriate. But with that, the village attorney says that we can't just waive the fee and then set a specific fee just for them. We have to go in, change, add something to the code in case there is other companies that come in at some point and have that similar thing. So we're kind of giving everybody the same treatment. So the amendment to the fee schedule would be to add kind of like a sub to the street opening permit, where if there's going to be more than 50 openings in a project, the village board will meet and decide the fee and then assess that fee based on the scale of the project and with input from the engineer and the village administration. So that's kind of what this item is for, is to amend that municipal code to allow us to assess fees for these large types of projects going forward, including this project. And then the next one is having the village board actually decide what that fee is going to be.
How many openings are they having then?
They are unsure of how many exact openings, because if I believe that you said that you have to have an opening for every time that you cross a utility. So that could be possibly up to 4 on a property. And they're not going to be these massive, they're just going to probably be like these smaller openings. But if you went by the strict letter of the code, that's an opening. This is an opening. This is an opening. So we're talking hundreds, if not thousands, of different openings. Again, very few are going to be in the actual pavement. It's mainly going to be in the turf right-of-way, boulevard area. But that's where, again, we were trying to not price us out of the project and have them kind of go around Butler and service everybody else. And I believe, Ben, what we talked about was even with the reduced pricing, we're still above your average for per pass fee.
Is all your excavating hydro? Do you guys hydro at all, or do you guys?
Ben, can you come back to the podium? Thank you.
Do you mini X or?
Yeah, we'll hand dig everything. And
So
when they do those potholes, they're gonna place a tarp down, they're gonna sod cut that, pull that plug out, put it upside down, then put all the spoils.
Because they're not going that far.
You got it.
Okay.
So now, once that's done, they watch the bore head go through, they're gonna put spoils back in, put that sod plug back in, and you won't see anything. The only disturbed spaces will be where the actual box is set up.
right? So that's even less. I mean, hydro is, I mean, I know what that is, right? So that you can cut out S's if you want, right?
Right.
And when you say you guys do for your road stuff, I like as well, it's really non-invasive, is drilling a hole is what they're doing, right? And they're just watching it pass through. So I mean, I really like the whole scenario of not a lot of saw cutting and big square holes on, especially if we're into new roads that we just got done. I'd hate to see, you know, a big 3x3 square hole cut in and we're patching it back in. I really like the just a plug, you know, and all your hydro excavating and then directional boring.
Okay, so this agenda item is just to amend the fee, and then the next topic is to set the fee.
Correct.
I see.
Yeah, as if you saw in the packet,
Yeah.
the bolded text was basically that the village board would set the fee. And again, that allows it to scale. So if there's one with 75 openings or one with, this one has, 1,000 openings, you can set the price accordingly. It's not just locking you into one set price.
So is there a motion to amend the village fee schedule?
I'll make a motion to amend the fee schedule.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion on the motion? On favor? Oh,
Yeah, just the only comment I would have is, in the interest of treating everybody the same down the line, that whatever wording we decide on now doesn't lock us into, you have to do this because you did this with them. You know what I'm saying, like that, another company might come in that maybe isn't as reputable or as well established or whatever, and they may want the same treatment, and maybe they don't justify the same treatment. So I just want the controls to remain with the villages.
Correct. And when it comes to setting the fee itself, that's up to the village board. So you guys have the final say on what is charged. But again, it kind of, if you treated everybody, if the quality of the company was the same, but they had less or more than what they're putting in, we can adjust that price up or down. Or if you think that the company is a little bit more suspect, where we can find a Better Business Bureau complaints against them or whatever.
Yeah.
If we're concerned about that, that would still allow the village to increase the fees
Okay.
for that.
That answers my question.
any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
On opposition, say nay. Motion passes. Item E then is discussion and possible action on setting a fee for street openings related to the 2026 Metronet fiber optic project.
So as I stated, when I had my last meeting with the MetroNet team, they said if it was between $8,000 and $10,000, that would be acceptable to them. I went right in the middle and said 9,000. It is still, as Ben has stated, still higher than their average per pass amount is. But I'm trying to, I'm trying to wheel and deal with them where looking at the ordinance, looking at the fee schedule, we're looking at, if we set it at 9,000, it's, what was it? I think a tenth of what the original quote unquote cost would have been. I know it's a little bit higher, but again, I'm trying to balance the ordinance itself with being reasonable with them. So if that's what the board decides, if they want to lower it, get it higher, it's up to you guys, but
It sounds fair. I mean, you've done all the legwork on it, and I don't think many municipalities would change the fee just to maybe accommodate, so we're willing to do that. I don't have an issue with $9,000. And that would be unlimited holes then?
correct.
For this project?
Correct.
Okay. And then would it include any type of hole they have to dig to connect a residential house?
So that would be outside of the right of way, because I believe that you're going to be kind of putting it right in the right of way. And so it would be, there wouldn't be any type of thing with that because that'd be all private
So
property.
that's part of the installation fee then, when someone signs up.
And so, and then again, just for Ben's reference, then once we, let's just say a year from now, there's something faulty with one of the things and they have to go into the right of way, that would be a different process. That would be the right of way, that would be the road cut permit, and it would be the regular $100 fee just for that. So just to make that clear, once they're done with the project, they're done.
So this is just an umbrella for this project. only.
Correct.
But to connect a residential house, they have to go into the right of way. And we are not saying that's not included in that then, or we don't need a permit for that?
I would say that we wouldn't need it because they're going to be, I think, going from the box than doing the hand digging, just like, again, 6 inches, it's not gonna be as deep.
Okay.
And it's not gonna be, it's gonna be maybe just a couple inches of maybe the right of way that they would be accessing. So I don't think that we would need to do that.
What is the board's thought on the 9,000 as a compromise?
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I think it would work.
Yeah, I believe it's acceptable.
Okay,
So you need that in the motion?
Yes.
The 9,000. I'll make a motion to set the fee for the street openings at 9,000.
I'll second that.
motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion?
I would like it clear in the motion though, that it's for this project only.
Correct. For the MetroNet fiber optic project. I agree.
Yeah, the 2026 Metro fiber optic project, as
Correct.
stated in the, yeah.
I agree. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in opposition, say nay. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in opposition, say nay. Motion passes. Adjourned at 6:55. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Look forward to working with you.